So welcome everyone. Hope you're all doing good. I'm Anas Ruby, and today's session will be about XSS vulnerabilities. And first of all, to start, I just want to know how many attendees here have any idea about XSS. So is there anyone here that has any experience in web application vulnerabilities, especially in XSS, or you're all new to this topic? If anybody has any experience or have ever heard about XSS, please just write in the chat so I can know what's the best way to manage this topic. So, anyone? You can hear me, guys, yes? Okay. I've done web dev, but not XSS, okay. So, anyone else? Okay, so how many of you guys have even any experience about web development, HTML, CSS, JavaScript? Any here have previous knowledge about web development? Okay, so whatever. It seems that most of the attendees now are new to this topic, so I'll try first to break it down so you can understand the logic behind XSS and how it should work. So first of all, how a web application works. The main thing that every web application has is HTML language. HTML is a language that can describe the way and feel of your website. So if you just clicked inspect element on your browser or you clicked view page source, you'll see these strange tags. These are the HTML language tags, and also you can see them in a better viewer with view page source. This is a bit messy, so I'll just open another website to check. So let's check this one. Okay, so you can see this is how you write HTML. You write HTML tag, then you close it in the end of the document. Also, you write a heading tag and you close the heading tag. So if you can see here, this is the beginning of the heading tag, and this is the closing of the heading tag. So it's like a tree. You open a tag and then you insert something inside of it, then you close the tag. So what actually HTML does is that it describes the way and feel of your website. Alongside with CSS, you can customize the colors and the layout of your website. So I'll just give a very short example here. Here, if you want to make a header like this one, no XSS coverage. So this mostly will be a heading. So it will be inside the H tag. So as you can see, it's H1 tag. H1 is the biggest header on your website, on your page. So it should be only one main heading tag like this one. This one might be H2. Let's check. Okay, H3. So it is the heading 3. So as you can see, you just open the heading tag, then you write inside of it what you want to display inside, then you close it, and browser automatically will determine that this is a header tag, and it will, as you can see, make this one bigger than this one, and this one is the smallest one. Maybe a P tag, a paragraph tag. Yeah, it's a paragraph tag, which is referred to as a P tag. So basically, an XSS vulnerability, the main focus is to try to inject HTML and JavaScript inside your website. So what does that mean? This means that a normal website, like let's try any normal website. Okay, let's just try this one. So as you can see here, I have a website. If I open the about, for example, you can see everything is just very clear here. It's way better than the previous websites. So now if you want to insert a new image into your website, you need to modify this HTML file, which is this one, the about.html. It's just a file like the doc file, like the PDF file. You just modify it and re-upload it to the server. And once you do, the layout of the website will change. So if you want to insert a new image into your website, there's an image tag, which is like this. Let's just, okay. So how do I close this one? Okay, so here, this is the image tag, img, or you can also write just image, which is a less popular one, but it's mostly image, like this shortcut version. Then you write inside of here your URL of the image. It's also should be inserted into an attribute called source. So this is overview about how HTML works. So if you want, for example, to modify your website in order to display an image inside, you will modify this content and add an image tag in order to achieve the image you want to display. So XSS is about inserting a new HTML tags and JavaScript comments inside of your HTML. So a short example, let's check Google's website. Just open Google. So now when we open Google and search, for example, for H1, hi there, then close the H1 tag. Now when we search, as you can see, this HTML tag is not treated as the original H1 tags on the website. So if you search here for H1, there aren't any sorry. Okay, there's an H1 tag. It's H1 tag accessibility links. I don't know if this is displayable. Where is it? Is it hidden or something? So never mind. So I just want to show you this part. So let's just search for hello world. Hello. Okay, as you can see, this is how our H1 tag is displayed. So as you can see here, it's H1 tag inside of it, hello world, and a closing of the tag. But in the page source, it's displayed like this. So this is actually an HTML encoding of the tags. So as you can see, this tag is displayed as and less than, then this semicolon, H1, and then and greater than, semicolon. So I just want to show you what this represents. If we let's try to build a new HTML website. So for example, I'll just save this one at the, let's say, documents test.html. So let's just, okay, open an H1 tag, test header, and then another one like this, and save. Let's open the documents. Okay, documents. Here we have it. Okay, so as you can see, this one was treated as an HTML tag, but this one was just displayed as a text. So this wasn't actually executed. So this is the main focus of XSS filtering. So when an attacker tries to inject a new HTML element inside your website, you should filter the tags so the attacker won't be able to inject a new whatever he wants to inject. For example, a new tag that contains images, that contains a script. I think this is enough for now, and once we go in further, you will understand the idea behind this. So the first example we have here is how to make an HTML injection inside an anchor tag. Okay, so we have now this website. This is an example website that is used to, I think it's a search, just search for user by email or name or username or the group, and then it finds it. And we have here a tag. It should contain, I think, the name or something, because it says hello and whatever you insert into here. So for example, if I change it to Anas, enter. So as you can see, it's now hello Anas. So what if I changed from Anas? Just try first this one. What if I add like this? Oh yeah, I must include it because the and opens a new parameter. Don't mind about this. Just okay. Here, as you can see here. Okay, so now we have the H1 tag, but it's not displayed. Why? Because the HTML is not, the HTML tags isn't actually executed. If we just view the page source, as you can see here, it's like this. The browser will only execute HTML if it's not encoded like this way. It will execute them if they are like this. So if we just copied the same HTML tag, but without encoding it and just pasted it, as you can see, it's now hello world, but it's treated as a H1 tag, as a header, as a big header on the website. Let's try now to inject an image, for example, image, source of our image. Let's check any image. What's the source of this image? Okay, just copy the image address. So this is actually how you add a new image, a simple way of adding an image into inside a HTML page. But never mind how you add it, just focus on the idea into injecting a new element as a user inside the website, and then I will tell you what's the danger of this. So now we are injecting a new image, and this is the source of the image. So if we just open this link here, as you can see, this is an image. Now if we open this one, as you can see, we successfully injected a new image inside the website. So for example, if you can manipulate a web page like this one, you can just go to your friend or the one you want to attack and send them this website, this URL that you already injected something inside, and tell them, check out, this is a very cool website. And for sure, you won't add just a simple image like that. You will add, please follow me at something, something, something. So if you can inject an image like that in Google, for example, so if you can open just google.com, and once you open google.com, there's a big header calling, please follow me at Twitter, and you just add your Twitter account. This is a very simple and stupid way of getting followers, but once you master the attacks, you will be able to do much dangerous attack vectors. But this is a basic concept of what's the danger of injecting an HTML inside a document. So as you can see, once you can inject an HTML document, an HTML inside the document, you can manipulate. So for example, if you want to remove everything after, you can just comment the rest of the document like this. This is a comment in HTML. This is an open of the comment, and this is how you close it. But we won't close it. We want to comment the rest, all the rest of the website. So just enter here. Didn't work. Okay, let's check why. Oh, because of because of this one. It was already okay. We have a close in here, so I think there is no way to play around with it once we already have a closing comment before the rest of the web page. So whatever, you can do it with JavaScript. So actually, what is the real dangerous behind this attack vector is that you can inject JavaScript code. And from injecting JavaScript code, you can do whatever you want to do with the website. So I'll just show you a very simple example right now. So just script and close the script. If we, for example, window.open, this is a very simple JavaScript function that will open a new web page. So I'll just open google.com. Okay, so what if I just open this website? Okay, it won't do nothing. Why? Let's check. Okay, Windows spelled incorrect. Window.open. Okay, it tells you that there is a pop-up that wants to open google.com. So once you can manipulate with the JavaScript of the website, you can, for example, make the website redirect to somewhere else. You can make the website steal the cookies from the user. The cookies is actually like the credentials of the user. So in simple terms, if you can steal the cookies of the Facebook account of some user, you can log into his account without knowing his password. So I'll just give you a very simple example. Here, I have a plugin called Milk. Okay, it won't work here, but you can also check the cookies from the, where I think it's memory. Nope, perform. Wait, it's application. Yeah, application. Here you can see the cookies. This is the cookie. So here we have a cookie called secure cloud proxy UID, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. So if this was a session cookie, session cookies are the cookies that represent the user that's logged into the website. So once you log into Google or Facebook, Twitter, whatever you are logged in, there will be a cookie here named, for example, FB_session. This will represent the user that's logged in. So if you can steal this value and change it, add it to your browser. So if you have physical access, for example, on your friend's browser, and you just stole the value of this session and change your computer's value to his value, you will be able to log into his account without even knowing his password, because this is like the credentials or the ID that can make anyone log to another's account. So with JavaScript, we can use this function called document.cookie, Okay, as you can see here, it tells us that there's a cookie called Facebook session, blah, blah, blah. So very simple AJAX request. AJAX is a way of sending and receiving traffic between two websites, or inside the same website, but between two different endpoints. So just opening the same trick we did here. Oh no, I'll just change the href. Href location dot href is the website I'm currently open. So as you can see here, the location dot href is the website I'm here. So if I just change it to http google.com, now I'll be just redirected to google.com. So another trick right now, if I just change this one to google.com and add it to it, the document.cookies. Okay, as you can see right now, I opened google.com. This is not Google, isn't it? Okay, whatever, I open this google.com website and I have the session. So if I now have control of google.com, this website, I think it's official website, whatever, this website, I will now be able to steal the session from the user, because this is the website I own, and I can, for sure, once I have control over the JavaScript, I can redirect the user wherever I want to go. So this is a very simple overview of what's the dangers behind XSS vulnerabilities. Sorry, I forgot to tell you what is XSS. XSS is cross-site scripting. There's a language called CSS, and because they don't want to confuse them between each other, so they just prefer to call the vulnerability from, while it's cross-site scripting like that, cross-site scripting, but they just preferred it like that, cross-site scripting, so it's XSS. And the dangers from XSS is that you can manipulate the client side of the web page, which will result in changing the web content, stealing the information from a website, phishing some users, redirecting the users to another website, and imagine all the scenarios in your mind. So these are a very great XSS challenges that was made by Nokia XSS. It's actually a web plugin that automatically detects XSS vulnerabilities. And these are the kind of XSS vulnerabilities that can be detected by the Nokia XSS plugin. It's built by a very famous XSS researcher. He's called Brute Logic. I recommend you, if you can, check his Twitter account. He's a very great guy and very helpful one. Okay, this is his account. If you have ever had any problem with XSS, he will be the best one to take an advice from. So now let's try to understand what are the challenges that you may face while trying to exploit an XSS vulnerability in a website. So for example, I just showed you that this one, it just allows anything. So whatever you write in here, it will be displayed inside the website without any problems. So you can just do whatever you want with the website because it's already not filtering anything. So now the second challenge, as you can see here, okay, this is an inline-based challenge. Inline-based, I will show you what does it mean. Okay, just open the source. So as you can see, we have here b1 equals to 1. We just want to determine where is this one reflected inside the page. So I'll change this one to xxxx. So you'll see where this reflected. As you can see, if you couldn't find it by your eye, you can just search for it in the page, but we already found it here. So if we tried the same trick we did before, like this one, h1, okay, this is the reflection point anyway. So if we just tried h1 high and close the h1 tag, nothing will happen. Why? Because it's already inside an attribute. This is called the tag, and this is called an attribute. An attribute is like value equals, name equals value, and a tag is like greater than value, then some attributes, then closing tag. This like BR, the break line, it doesn't require some attributes, but some require, like the image. You can't add an image without adding the source of the image. But for example, if you want to add a simple h1 tag, a heading tag, you may add some specifications to it, but it's not required. So anyway, now we have here, just view the source. Sorry, close. So let's view the source of this page. As you can see here, it's already injected inside. So anyone has an idea how we can trick the website in order to execute our code? So what should we do? Okay,
close the double tag and introduce another attribute, maybe.
Yep. So as you can see here, we have an attribute, and once the closing and opening, once the closing and once the bigger than and less than are already allowed, so we can just close the attribute called value. So if we just try to close this before, this is the closing of the attribute value, but we want to close it before here. So we will add it here, then we will check what happened. If we just closed it, okay, as you can see, it's closing, but there's still some problem. So we need to close the input. So after we close the value, we need to close the input tag. Now enter. Okay, we already bypassed the protection. Now let's check it on the view side. Okay, as you can see, now we have a high. XSS is mostly like proven once you can execute an alert. An alert is the simplest JavaScript function. It just makes a message like this one. Look, alert. This is an empty one. If you can just change it to alert 1, okay. So this is the simplest JavaScript function, and once you can execute it, you can prove that you already have an XSS on this website. It's like the basic vector that once you can execute, you can report to the company that I got an XSS vulnerability on a website. Give us a proof. Okay, I can make an alert. Okay, that's proven. Because sometimes you can execute HTML, but you can't execute JavaScript, which will have a minimal risk, because if you can't steal the cookies, for example, all the attack vector will be limited to what you can do to manipulate the website to make the user give you his credentials or something, or go to another website. So now we just want to check that we can execute JavaScript. So we'll just script alert. Okay, let's try CyberX. Now close the script tag, enter. Okay, proven. We now have access on this second challenge. Let's try the third one, inline with single quotes. Okay, this is actually the same, but if we now view the source of the page, you'll see that attributes actually can work with both single or double quotes, only single or double quotes. So for example, backticks, this character, like the character before the number 1, this one, it used to work before, but now it's not. So it only works on JavaScript, but on HTML, you can't use this to open and close attributes. So for example, if you open image tag, and this is the source of the image, you can open and close it with a single quote like this. You can use double quotes, but you can use backticks. So we will now just check where this reflection happening, 1111. Here it's happening, and now it's single quote. So just take the same payload and change from double quotes, because now we want to close the value that's opened and closed by single quotes. So for example, if you just use the same one, it won't be closed. Why? Because in order to close it, we need to use the single quote, because it's already opened with single quotes. It's like the same concept of C or C++ strings. Actually, there aren't no strings in C. It's like the same concept of adding some char and whatever in C and C++. So strings can be added with either single or double quotes. So we will just close the attribute called value with a single quote and go. Let's check. Okay, I think it worked. Actually, the browser colors your web page, the source of the web page, in order to make it easier to read. So once you can see that your tag is, I don't know, this is the purple color or something. If you can see the tag with this purple color, then you already opened a new tag. So this is like a successful attempt. So let's just check the alert to confirm. Okay, we got an alert. Let's go to the third challenge. No tag breaking. Okay, now we can't close the tags, I think. Let's just check the reflection point, then we will see what we can do. Okay, so 1111. Okay, here we have. Actually, he gives you some hints in order to make it easier for you, not to waste time with multiple attack vectors. Anyway, so he tells you that you can't use tags. Let's just check. This is the tags, so H1, enter. Okay, as you can see, there's no closing tag. No tag break. Oh yeah, there's no closing tag. So what you can do if there's no closing tag is that you can use something called the JavaScript events. What are JavaScript events? JavaScript can execute in several ways. I won't say a number because I will check it first. Okay, so the first way is like adding a simple code inside the script tag like that. So now This is the first way. The second way is adding an inline based, which is an event based JavaScript. It's like that. For example, if you have an h1 tag, and this is the closing of the h1 tag, and you have a value here, whatever the value is, make it my name anyway, you can use a keyword called on, and these are all the events that JavaScript supports, but not all tags will support all of them. So for example, on pause for sure won't work with the h1 because the header has nothing to do with pause. For example, this may work with a video on offline. Don't know what will this work for, but for example, let's see. Okay, on mouse wheel. So on mouse wheel, I think this should work with h1. So, but I will test. If it didn't, I will try another one. Actually, you should memorize them. For example, the on click should work with any event. The on mouse over is like the hovering the thing. This should work with anything. And just in a minute, I will give you a guide on how to find the best, like cheat sheet to check what are the best event to use. Anyway, so now I don't have a closing tag. So I'll just use an image. This is that very common vector. Oh, no, you know what? Just SVG. So now I have an SVG. SVG is the HTML tag that is used to display a vector inside your website. So SVG, if you are familiar with design, there's AI. Nope, this AI, Illustrator. Okay, you can make a dynamic vector, draw it inside. There's also another extension called SVG. It's like a simple, it's very close to the HTML syntax. It's also used to draw. I'll just show you some SVG examples. Exam. Okay, all. Okay, this is a W3 school. Okay, as you can see, this is an SVG tag, and we added a rectangle and we filled it with blue. It changes blue to red, and try again. Yep, as you can see, this is a way of drawing whatever. So we won't dive more into this. Just go back. So now we will add an SVG tag. Okay, now we will use on mouse over, for example. So on mouse over means on hovering the thing. So now if we like that, we mouse over this input. Now we mouse over this input. It's a very simple one. Now we want to alert. So we write here our JavaScript code. So SVG, we want to display an SVG. And as simple as SVG, I think it will be like I mentioned 100 by 100, something like that. It's enough so we can find it in the web page anyway. So once this isn't allowed, we can't use scripts because we already need to open a tag with a closing less than symbol, and now alert inside. Now open another closing tag and close it with the closing tag. Anyway, but in this case, we don't need to close. Why? Because we can just do like this, and it should work. How it should work, I will just show you, and then we'll tell you how it worked. So now we can close first the attribute, then open a new SVG attribute and check. Okay, it didn't work. Let's check why. Oh wait, it was just accepting it. It didn't. Okay, never mind. I'll just do the same concept, but without opening a new attribute. Guys, it just accepted my payload. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You have closed.
Okay, sorry, it's my bad. I can't close the input, so we must use an inline-based payload. So it's the same, but we will execute the event inside the input itself. So, okay. Just remove everything here. We just need it like this. I'll show you how this works right now. So just enter, and now you will understand better. So now we have this. Which one? It's the name. Yeah, as you can see, just view page source. So we have this input. The type is text. The name is DC. The value is nothing because we already closed the value. If you, for example, added before the closing XSS, enter. Now we can see the value is XSS, and we added an event that detects whenever you hover or put the mouse over the input, boom, an alert will come. So I'll just show you this by itself in JS Fiddle. Okay, this is a very simple Java HTML. So just try it here. Okay, here we have an alert. If we want to add a value, run. Okay, Now alerts with 1. So this is called a user interaction based payload. So if we want to make it non-user interaction, the user doesn't need to do anything. Just once the page loads, the execute will come out. We need to use a different event. So the known one for input is on focus. Focus is like that. Now I focused the group input. Now, okay. Now I focused the email. So focus means you just entered it. So you are now ready to write. So on focus, I want to alert XSS. And I want to make an autofocus, another event. This is not an event. Actually, it's a simple Java HTML attribute that auto selects the input. So for example, if you go to Google, let's show you how it works. Just go to Google. As you can see, I'm already selecting the Google search box. I don't need to go here and search. So once I open the website, I start writing, I'm already writing inside of Google. Let's check it again. Open Google. Once I am in Google, I'm already focusing the Google main search box. So this is a HTML attribute that autofocuses the input. So now just make autofocus on. Now I think we're good. I just need to close the previous. Okay, now just copy this fail. Just remove this one. Remove the errors. Now let's try. I should open it and boom, an alert should come. Yep, here we exist. What number is it? Okay, dude. Okay, so there are 3 alerts. I think it will. Oh, okay. I just need to close because it's already auto-focusing, and once it's focused, it will alert. So it's like a loop. So I just close it right now. This is the first challenge. Now let's check. I won't go through the next one because it's the same concept with just single quotes. So I'll just skip the 5th one, go to the 2nd. So this is the 2nd challenge. So by so far, anybody has confusion in what I've already explained? Anybody has any questions? Anyone has any question? Anybody has any confusion of what we have already been through? Okay, I think it should be clear for you guys. Please don't let me down. So now we have forget the number again, the 6th case. Let's see what it tells us. Okay, HTML injection with single quotes in JavaScript block. Okay, so now it's the basic way of adding JavaScript. As you can see here, I'll just show you where's the reflection point. The reflection point is actually the parameter is taken to the server. Is being taken to the server, and the server is taking this value and outputting back us again into the web page. So as I showed you, that's in Google. Once I search for something in Google, I just Googled my name, for example. Once I Google my name, it will already show back to me. But if I wrote a wrong word, it will correct it to me. So it will display exactly what I wrote in Google. So I'll just show you an example. I want to write something wrong. So long. Okay, why it's still right? Please. Okay. Congratulations. Okay, so now it just returned the word I wrote because it tells me there's an error in my word. So I can also make Google return back to me what I wrote in case it was wrong spelled. So let's go back. Now we have this case where our reflection point is inside a script already. So now we have a var. Var is the keyword in JavaScript to create a general public variable. And the var is called C1, and its value is 1111. It's very simple, as you can see. I just close the variable like this with single quotes and semicolon. No, you know what? There's something in JavaScript like that. If you, for example, made a var, just make it bigger. Okay, I think it's big enough. Var A equals to test. Now A is equals to test. So I can, while I'm defining something like this again, var B equals to TE. Okay, T. I didn't close yet, so let's just close the text test. But I want to do something while this is being defined. So I will use something. This I don't know how to say it. Look. If I just added these two together, it will be the same. So B is also tests. So I can also use a third method. While I'm defining it, I want to do something. I want to execute something while it's been defined. So how do you do this? It's like break, please for me. I want to do something first for fast. I want to alert, then continue. So as you can see, okay, I alerted. So as you can see here, I'm defining a C1 variable as 1111. So I will tell it, just pause for me for a second, alert for me, then continue whatever you are doing. So I'll just show you here how it works, and then we'll show you the execution is successfully done. Oh, it's not accepted. Okay, so as you can see, it's been filtered. I can't add, let's see the challenge name. Which one is this one? It's C1. C1. Let's try double encoding. It tells me that JavaScript, it's number C1. C1. Okay, so HTML injection. Oh, sorry. It tells me I need to make HTML injection from inside a script. I don't need to add JavaScript right now. This challenge isn't about JavaScript. This will work for the second one. So now how to inject HTML injection from inside the script. First of all, I need to close the previous one. So just close the script. Just check if it's accepted. Okay, yes, it is. So now I already closed this script, and I can open a new one, a new script that will close here. And I want to alert from inside of it, and then just comment everything else because it will cause an error. Also, I need to fix the error before I continue. So before I close the script, I need to end this variable. So I need just to, okay, I can't end. Don't know if it will work or not, but let's just check. So as you can see here, once I inserted this value, this payload is the value you inject in some cases in order to achieve XSS. So here you can see this is the original script tag. I already closed it and I opened a new one to alert for me. Let's check if it will be accepted or we need to modify something. Okay, I think it's because I already need to close this one. Because now JavaScript won't continue loading the page if you have an error on your page. Let's just check the console to make sure what is exactly the problem. So here, oh man. Okay. Why is it like console? So this is the syntax error in line 15. Yep, it's this one. I can't continue before closing it. So any ideas so far? Any ideas?
Maybe you need a quote and a semicolon.
Yep, but
to finish the first one.
It's already not accepting the quote. It's been, as you can see, it's not accepted. Any other ideas? So, okay. I open the quote. Don't know how I forgot how to solve this one. So I open the var C1. Am I missing something? So it tells me HTML injection with single quotes. don't know why it's not even allowed, because it tells me with single quotes. Let's just take the second challenge and we'll go back once we find the problem. So this is the second one. Can I just do this one? Nope, same. Can I use this one? Okay. I can ignore, but I can't close it anymore. So don't know what's the problem. I'll just continue, and once I remember the solution, I will go back. Sorry for that. So let's just check this one. So this is what I thought the previous challenge was about before. So as you can see here, we have, where's the value? Okay, it's C3. So I will just use this alert inside like that. So as you can see now, it looks like this. I can inject alert inside. So if we checked, they already explained this, so I will just double check, and okay, it's working. Now we have, it's the same, but with double quotes, so we won't go through it. Okay, escaped JavaScript injection with single quotes. Okay, so now let's check. It won't accept the single quote. As you can see, it's already filtered, but there's a, as you can see here, if we just checked what this reflects to in our console, as you can see, this is being ignored because it uses an escape character. So if we move this one, it will cause an error, but once we use an escape character, it will be accepted. So we can't close it because whatever we add of single quotes, it will always be escaped. But the simple trick for this, we can escape the escape, then close. So for example, if we have here var x equals to something, and now we added inside the something, this single quote, it will be filtered already. But if we added all this value together, what will happen? This single quote will automatically, the page will insert a single quote, a backslash before of it, but this original backslash will escape the backslash, then it will be closed, as you can see. So let's try. So we will use backslash single quote, now close it, and okay, now the same trick, alert, and I don't know if it's like that, I just check. So now we have here, this is the value. The value here is backslash because one is escaping the other, but the value is only one. And now we closed it, we made an alert, but there's a problem here, it won't work. So let's just ignore this one, just close it normal way. So we already closed this one, added a semicolon, executed an alert, then comment in the rest of the document, the rest of the line. I think it should work that way. Okay, we've got an alert. Let's check the second one. Okay, it's the same, so we won't go through it. This one. Now this is an XML page. It's not a HTML page anymore. So I will actually give you a very good guide, or you can call it guide, cheat sheet, whatever you want to call it, for XSS vulnerabilities. So you just write Portswigger XSS. XSS, okay. This is the cheat sheet made by Portswigger. It's the best cheat sheet out there that you can use always to find bypasses and very weird vectors that will help you. So I now here want a vector to execute in my XML file. So I'll just search for XML in this page, XML. As you can see here, we will go to the content types. If the content type is HTML, the content type you can see in here. If you just go to the network bar, just reload the page. Okay, here we have the page. As you can see here, the page content type is text HTML, text XML. So I will just check what is that text XML payload. So as you can see here, it tells you if the text XML is your content type, you can use this payload in order to execute an alert. You just copy and paste it because it's an already made script for you. It's like a simple payload that will execute JavaScript inside an XML, because XML by default won't execute JavaScript. I'll just show you in a second. So we already have an alert here with a domain. Just make it simpler. Okay, here we have an alert with one. If I use the simple script one, it won't execute because XML doesn't treat tags the same way HTML does. So as you can see, it just adds it inside the root thing, and it will never execute unless you use this payload. So this is about the XML one. Now let's go to PHP self. So what is PHP self? PHP self is a global PHP variable. It's used like this. So server PHP self. This is like a variable, a global variable in PHP. If you're familiar with PHP, it's mostly used inside the action of the forms. So once the application can move from a website to another, the developer don't need to provide always the action URL because it will sometimes change. For example, if you changed one day the XSS file to something like XS, just X, now the action will change. Action is the action is the attribute that determines where this form will be sent to. So if you change the page name for some time, the action won't work anymore because it's already sending the the information you provide to SSS. So what is the solution PHP provides is like a global function that will determine what is the URL value, and we'll put it here for you. So this isn't handwritten. It's derived from the global variable called server PHP self. So how we can manipulate with this, if it's not checked that the value is HTML filtered, we can use this way. So as you can see, if you added some parameters like that, it won't be recognized by the PHP self, but you need to add a slash, then add some value. As you can see here, it will be added. Okay, so the simple trick we used before, just close the form and open a new script tag. I don't know if you will accept it for now, but I will check. If it didn't, we will change the script to something else. So script, okay, it worked. So we now have a successful alert with no value. Yep, worked. So this is about the PHP self one. Okay, the second one is HTML injection one level deep. Let's check what's this about. Okay, so as you can see, we have here, this is like a path of the website, but the first path, the second path, and the third path is displayed inside of here. So if we change this CC to CC, it will be here. So we have a 3-line based injection point. So let's just try adding image source equal to X and check what will happen. Okay, we have successful HTML injection here. Actually, why a script like this one won't work? Because in this script we have a slash, and a slash is treated like a new parameter, as you can see. So we need to use a 1-line based payload. So a very simple one is svg on load prompt, and we're going to prompt is similar to alert anyway, but it asks the user for the value for some value. So let's just check. Okay, it should work. Yep, worked. So now we have an alert. Let's check the second one. It's level 2 levels deep. So let's go back to check what is being sanitized or filtered. So let's check our characters. Okay, no HTML tag allowed. Okay, so we can't inject HTML in this case. There is a simple trick, I think it will work here. It's called double encoding. So now this actually isn't being sent to the server like this. It's before it's been sent, it's been encoded like this. Your encode, it's been like this form. So this is how the server received it. And this is how it's been treated by the server. Only Internet Explorer sends it in the simple form like this. So anyway, so once this is filtered, we can try to find another trick. So we can double filter it, sorry, double encode it. So once this is determined by the server, so if we just added this one, this value, it won't be recognized as something dangerous. But if we double encoded it, how to double encode something? This percentage symbol can be encoded. It's the encoding of it is like this. So this can be encoded to STIF25 and also like this. So if we just added this one, I will show you what does it mean. So as you can see here, this is we get this one. So now how we double encode something, we encode the encodable character inside. So I will encode this one to its representative value, which is STIF25. So now once we decode this one, it will be like this. And now we have the, now once we encode this one, it will be like this. So just go back. Okay, now try this value and it should execute. Oh, nope, it didn't. So let's try the first one. Maybe they are different. Okay, they are. The third one isn't actually accepting, but the first one is. I think this trick will be used for the third challenge, not the second one. Anyway, so I don't know what are the differences, but let's just try the payload we used before. So svg onload equals to prompt alert. It worked actually, so we didn't need to change anything this time, but it's just that the third one isn't accepting. We can only inject in one space. So now the third one, let's check. Let's try 25 3C. Not accepted. Let's try it here. Okay, so this is what I was talking about before. So if I just added H1, okay, it does work. What about the second one? Let's try H1. Okay, it's filtered. So this one. So never mind. I think the same payload should work. It's VG onload equals to prompt to alert. Okay, so we have a successful alert, the same payload. Okay, so next one, HTML injection in script block. So let's check here. So we have here A, we have B, we have C, which is A, B, C. Okay, I will try after we finish this one. So we have, let's try to add single quote here to see if it will execute. Nope, it filtered the single quote. Let's try to double encode the single quote. The trick I was just trying. So 27 to 27 is the encoding for single quote, and 25 is the double encoding. So nope, it didn't. So let's try to backslash encoding is 5C. Okay, I can close it. So let's read the challenge again. This is HTML, sorry. It's not JavaScript based, so I need to make an HTML inside here. So I need to close the script. Let's try to add something like that. Okay, it's been accepted. And now let's try to, that's okay. As you can see, if I just added a script closing tag like this, script. Okay, this is the opening one. Now let's try to close it. It won't, because this one will be here and the rest will be here. So what we can do here, okay, the alt trick, just double encode. So the slash is 3, it's 2F. 2F, yep, 2F. Okay, so now it worked. So let's just simplify it. So first we have the script. and we can't add this one because it will make a new parameter you can call. So the first step you do is you encode this one, first encoding, and now you double encode it, URL encode, and now you have double encoding. You can close the script tag, and now you can do whatever you want. SVG onload, SVG onload equals to alert. So this should work. Yep, let's check. Now we have an alert. This is the SVG I was talking about. As you can see it here, it's 300 by 150. So anyway, let's try the old one we didn't solve. It was the 6th one, I think. I think it's this one. Let's try the payload Muhammad gave us. So let's just check here. So this is the payload. This is how it's executed. Now let's try to view it. Okay, yeah, he was right. So we can, let's try to add here any value. Yeah. So it's just like, I'll just explain it. You don't need to close if you already have a value inside. So an example here is if we added a var x equals to AAA, it will make an exception, but if it's like that, it will also make an exception. But once we already continued, it won't. So like that, it won't ever work. But if we have a value inside already, it will be accepted. So once we already have a value here, it's okay. It's a weird JavaScript behavior, but this is how it works. So if you have a value before the closing, it will be accepted. But if you don't, if it's like just like that, it will. Okay, it just worked. Why it wasn't working before? Never mind. I think we did this before and it didn't work because it caused an error. Anyway, so you just close the script tag and you open a new script tag and you alert, and here you go. An alert comes out. Okay, never mind. Strange behavior. JavaScript is known to be one of the languages that have a lot of strange behavior sometimes. So anyway, we solved the first one. Let's check the second one of the. Okay. Actually, I already tried these three. They all can be bypassed using the same trick. Just double encode the slash character. So I'll just move to the other one, this one. So check the page source, check the A, if we can close the tag. Okay, yep, we can close. So A alert. Now this should work because we already have no filter over the single quote, so we can close the variable, open a new function, and then continue the variable. Yep, we executed it. Actually, three of them will work with the same payload. The only differences is, I'll show you here. If I added the first one, single quote, and the second one, and the third one, only the first one will work. So you always should check that all the parameters are treated the same way, because sometimes some parameters are filtered, some are not. So that's the only thing about these three challenges. So now double injection in HTML context. So double injection when you have multiple parameters, or you have one parameter that have two injection points. For example, now we have this one. It reflects in two different points, endpoints. So it's here and here. So if you just change it, this 1 to 1 1 1 1, we have multiple injection points. So it should work with the same payload. So never mind. This is just an introduction about multiple injection. Alert. Just simple payload, but now we have two injections, so we will have two alerts. First one, second one. Yep. Now let's check the second one. Now we have a context where there's an injection inside HTML and another inside the JavaScript. So we want to make an alert from the JavaScript, then the other from the HTML. So how we can do this? So first here, it's B, the injection is inside the B value. So I want to close the B value and alert, then alert. Actually, it's case sensitive, so you can't write alert like that. JavaScript is case sensitive anyway. So now I already had an alert here, but now we need to make another alert here. So I will close now this. I will just comment the rest so that script won't cause. Okay, I'll just close this one. Now I will comment the rest. So whatever I write here won't cause any error. So as you can see now, this variable is working without any problems. But if we didn't add this one and we continue, if we didn't comment the rest and we try to inject inside of here, it won't work because it will cause an error. I'll just show you without commenting, then I will comment. So anyway, now I'll close the href and I will add a new script tag. Nope, no script. I will add just an SVG as we use. SVG on load equals to alert. Okay. Actually, you know what? It will work because it's already inside the value, so no problem. Because it's so now the B value is the SVG thing. So if you can see here. Now, what's the B value? It's not a number. Let's just B. Okay, it's not a number. It's an error. So anyway, it's causing an error because you can't, for example, add 1 to A because it would tell you that A isn't a number, so you can't make this operation. It will just concatenate them. So now we should have 2 alerts. Let's just number them. So this is alert number 1, this is alert number 2. Now check. Okay, it's alert number 1, it's alert number 2. We have only one injection points, one injection parameter and 2 injection points, so we can use it to make 2 alerts. Actually, there aren't any beneficial. There isn't anything beneficial you can gain from making 2 alerts because you can just write all your code from in one area. But in further examples, you will see what you can do with it, because in some cases you can't make an alert without having 2 injection points. So here we have 2 injection points in JavaScript context. This is 1, 1. So if I just add 1, 1, okay. So if I try to close, okay, it's filtered. If I try to backslash this character and go, okay, it's accepted. So I can close it like that. So actually, it's a tricky one. So let's take it here to the console to try to understand it. So now here we have 2 injection points here and here. So first of all, I want to bypass this one in order to execute it in order to execute JavaScript in here. So the first thing I need to do, I don't want to close, because once I don't close it here, it will be closed here, and this will be a value. And now here I can add some code. So what I can do here, I want the code to be like this. I want to execute alert. I want to execute this one. So I will add it before here, which is also before here. So as you can see right now, I backslashed the closing single quote, and it's now this is the value of A. Then as you can see here, I opened an alert, then I closed it. But the problem here is this is also backslashed. So how I can go over this problem, I can comment the rest. So if I add here comment, it won't do anything because it's a value, so it won't consider it as a comment. But if I added it here, it will comment the rest, and I think no problems. But I just need to make this. Okay, I just make it like this, which is also here like this and like this. Also remember that this must be the last character, because in the first collection point, this must be the last to escape the closing. So now we have this value. It should make a successful alert for us. Let's check. So as you can see, just try the variable first and alert. Okay, it worked. Let's check. Okay, we have an alert. Is this clear so far? Do we have any confusions for this example? Because it's a bit it has some complicated. Should we continue on the other examples? I mean, did you get this one, or I need to express it more than that? Hello, guys. All good. Okay. It's okay for me. Okay, so the only two who responded said it's okay, so we have to continue. So now we have, where were we? Okay, I think it's this one, double injection in JavaScript object. Okay, now we have an object here. We have an object, so we need to make a simple a bypass like the previous one. Just to make it quick, I already solved this, so double quotes aren't allowed. You can only use this one. So we'll try to copy this code and make an exploit from here. So as you can see, we have two injection points here and here. So first thing we need to know that we need to backslash this, and we also need to comment the rest, so we won't have any errors. So this is the first thing we must use. Now we want to make an alert instead of this one. So close. Nope. First, because this is an object, we must close the object in order not to cause any errors. How can we close the object? It's like that. But this way we'll have an error here. Okay, yeah. This is A, and this is the value of it. Now we can close the object. Now we can close the object. And just after we use this one, we just alert. Okay, add this one here. Try. Okay, we got an alert. So this should be a valid payload. Let's try. Nope. Unexpected number. Yep, we shouldn't add this number. Try. Yep, we successfully exploited it. Enter. Okay, done. The next challenge, I'll just close them all right now. So we have quoted inline double encoding, nested array. Let's check it. So we have, it's very close to the previous one. So we'll make it quick. Now we have injection here and here. We need to close this one. Also add the same to the other one. We need to comment that this one. We need to make sure to close this one first, then this one. So like that, then that. Now we closed everything correctly. Just add this one here to make sure. Now we add an alert here. Alert. Alert. Add this one here as well. Enter. Okay, it worked. So as you can see here, I just want to simplify this one, because if you can understand this one, you'll be able to understand the previous. If you didn't, so here we have an object, a JavaScript object is like, okay, it's JSON-based syntax. So here we have y equals to an array of objects, and this array of objects, this is the first array of it. So now the first array is A, and this is the value. So as you can see here, we don't have any problems. Just remove this one to make it even more simple. This all this is just one value. So we just added X, it's the same. It's just some string. So if you added this one, it won't make any differences because just a string. So never mind. So it's just simplified. This is the original object. It's Y, an array of objects, and this is the first object. We don't have any other, so it doesn't matter if we added or remove this one. But once it's already here in the code, we must close it with our payload, like this one. How actually it works in JSON is that the first is using curly bracket, the second is with square bracket, then curly bracket, then square bracket, and so on and so forth. So anyway, we have a payload already. Let's try it and make sure it's working. Okay, enter. Okay, it's working. Let's double check, and we have an alert. Done. Next one. This is quoteless inline double injection JavaScript with nested function. Let's check. This is the same, but it's a function, so we need also to close the function. So let's try. So we have the injection here and here. First, as you know, just close it and comment the rest. Here, close it and comment the rest. Now first thing we need to close is this one. So close this one. Second thing we need to close is, so this is an object. The object has y and the y has a, and the a is a function. So we need to close the a. The a is opened. Actually, we don't need to close the a. We just need to close the y because the a is a function. So the function doesn't have an open and closing parentheses. So just close the a first. Close the y. Sorry, we just close the y, and the whole object need to be closed as well. So now it should work. Just check. Okay, no errors. Now we need to add our alert somewhere. It should be here. Alert. Now try this payload. Double check if it's working. Okay, yep, we have an alert. So once you open the page, we should be able to execute an alert. Done. So next one. Now we have special cases. These are some very good cases that are less common, you can say. You can see the first one here. What's the name of it? It's double encoded. Okay, so I already talked about double encoding, so I'll just show you very quick. If I just added here each one, it will be filtered. But if I double encoded it, this is the hack bar. This is the extension for Chrome and Firefox. It's a very good one if you want to try it. Okay, I just want to double encode this one. Encode, this is the first encode, and now double encode it again. So encode again. Now just try. So you can see it worked. It only filters the first encoding. So all I need to do is to make a complete. Let's just copy a ready-made one. Let's just copy this one. Double encode it on after print. But no, I want it to be. Doesn't require user interaction. Okay, so just double encode this one. Encode it again. Try it. Okay, we have it. Try to check if it's working. I need to print. I don't know why it's telling me it doesn't require user interaction. This is actually an event that executes once the user prints. But here it says event that do not require user interaction, so it does actually require user interaction. I just can change it to something else that doesn't require user interaction on load. So once the body is loaded, okay. So now it's working without any user interaction. Continuing. This is the first special case. Now it's SQL injection error. I don't think this is a thing that you will do in real life. SQL injection is way more dangerous than JavaScript injection or XSS or HTML injection, whatever you want to call it. So if you had an SQL injection vulnerability, SQL injection is a vulnerability that will allow you to dump the whole database of the website. So if you can make a SQL injection vulnerability, for sure XSS won't matter in this case. So it's just an example. It is really found in real life. I found one once, but if you found it, it's not. It's nothing because there's already an SQL injection vulnerability, and for sure the company that you report this bug to will fix the SQL injection vulnerability. And once the SQL injection vulnerability is fixed, now the XSS won't work anymore. So it's just nonsense. But anyway, just show you. Now we have an SQL injection vulnerability here. As you can see, if I single quote, it will tell you that the MySQL fetch array had an error, whatever. So just continue it to make my payload on load equals to prompt. Okay. Here we have an alert. Yeah, I just forgot to tell you. Prompt is the same as alert, but it asks you for a value. Confirm is just the same as alert. Confirm is the same as alert without any value asked. So they're all the same, or they're all a way of proving that you have an XSS, because sometimes some firewalls just blocks the word alert, but you can use confirm or prompt to bypass the firewall protection. So anyway, here we have HTML injection and PHP filter validate email bypass. So there is a function in PHP called PHP filter validate email. This is a already made function in the PHP language that will check the HTML, the email, sorry, and make sure it's a valid email. So how we can bypass it? There's a common bypass for this function. So where is it? Okay, here, once I write an email here, it will be returned to me. But for example, if I added an invalid email like this is an invalid email. Yep, so it won't, I need to have a domain with a period in it. So if I added, for example, let's just make it simpler, x.c. So now this is a valid email, but this isn't a valid email. So how I can make it valid? Just using this double quotes thing. Now I can write whatever I want here. SVG onload equals to alert. Okay, it didn't. Okay, let's double check it. Okay, XSS root. So where is the pair? Okay, didn't do the same thing I wrote. Let's just try it again. I think because of the space, maybe the space. Yeah. You can't have spaces in email, so you need to use this slash instead. So as you can see, slashes are considered as sometimes considered as spaces in HTML. So as you can see, this is SVG and this is the value. So it's working. Okay, this is an XSS payload that will bypass the filter validate email PHP function. Now we have here an issue. In this case, we have a limitation. So we need to find a payload that will bypass this limitation. So whatever we wrote here will reflect here. But there is something that we need to know, that we have only 32 characters max we can write, and also it must be like that. So if I just make it less than that, it will tell you this is an invalid key. So what I can do here, I'll just use the console to show you. I'll use a function called length. It will tell me the length of my payload. So I make a payload. So for example, SVG onload equals to prompt, and now it's 21. So I need to add more zeros, for example, 00 till it's 32. Yeah, this one should be a valid payload in order to insert whatever I want to insert. Yep, so it worked. If I just removed 10, it won't, because it would, if I removed 10 or one character, whatever it was, it will be 31 character, and it's an invalid key, as the website tells you, so it won't be accepted. So this is the case you encounter sometimes when you have a fixed or a strict limit. Sometimes you can't add more than 32, so you can't execute some comments. With JavaScript, you can only make some simple comments like alert, whatever, but you can't, for example, use the location.href equals to your domain plus document.cookie. So in this case, you request a new file. So you make script source, and you request a complete file to inject your payload. The shortest XSS payload that is found yet, or that you can do yet, short. Okay, no. Okay, this is the shortest one. Q on cut alert. So on cut was an event of 5 words, and alert is a function with 5 words, and you must add an HTML tag, which the smallest one is Q or P. They're both the same. So this is the smallest payload you can ever write. It's 15 characters. So if you have an injection point with less than 15 characters, it would never work. But here, as you can see, it requires you to cut the payload. So I'll just show you here, for example, in our first example, to show you this how it can work. So if I just added this, it wasn't copied. Close. Oh, it's closed. go back for Swigger. So copy the payload again, on cut. Okay, here it is. Copy it and try to use it here. So now if I just made Control X here, it will do nothing. Let's check. Here we have. So yep, it's not working because my payload is actually been appended with something else. So this needs to be closed. The function needs to be closed first in order to work. So it needs to be like that. So in our scenario, this case, we can't use this short. So we need to make it bigger. So if we had a limitation in this website for 15 characters, there is no way to execute JavaScript. There is no way to execute XSS. There is, yes, an injection for HTML injection or something, but you can't execute an alert, or you can't execute any JavaScript function or any JavaScript at all, because you can't write a complete payload to do anything. Anyway, going back to this example, so as you can see here, we have Q. Actually, we need a value, so it still won't work. Let's just double check. So I'll cut everything to make sure I'm cutting it. Yep, I can't. Why? Because this is the queue, this is the closing of it. So after the closing, there isn't any value that can be cutting. So I need to write something in order to be able to cut it. So I'll just show you how it works, and in some cases you'll be able to execute it. So XAA, whatever. Now if I cut it AA, an XSS will happen. An alert will happen, sorry. Just cut this AA, Control X. Yep. Now an alert came out. Now let's just go back. So I have completed this one. Now strip based injection. Okay, let's try to make H1. As you can see here, the H1, the opening tag will be filtered, but there is a function in PHP JavaScript made mostly on all languages that will replace, but it will only replace one character. So for example, if I added another opening tag, it will just be accepted. As you can see, only the last one will be rejected. As replace function only replaces one, the first or the last. So replace, for example, I don't know how the function is exactly called, but for example, if it's like that, replace A from it will only replace either the first or the last one, but the rest will be as it is. So it's very simple. As you can see here, you can just write script alert script. Now open another one. So this one will be filtered and everything else won't. So check it, open the website. Oh, wait, the first one. Oh, sorry, it's not the last, it's the first. So just remove it, add one before. Oh man, what's this? It's not the first, nor the last. So let's check what is actually happening. We added multiple here. Okay, I don't understand exactly, but anyway, I can just add a new script which won't be filtered. So this one here. Oh man. So I think it's filtering anything that has after it a character, a readable character. Yeah. So any script tag that has a readable character after it, sorry, any greater than that has a readable character after it will be filtered. Let's read again how this function works. So strip based bypass. So what I can do here is just to make, let's just make an image, for example. I can close. Let's try image, image, image. Let's see how it's treated. Okay. So Any ideas? Image. Still filtered. Anyone has an idea? I can't believe I just forgot everything. I solved it a long time ago, but I forgot how I solved it. I think sometimes you just write a payload and it works, but there are some other limitations that will cause some other payloads to won't work. So you don't know why your payload worked first, but the other one isn't, because it just worked. And there are some limitations that were supposed to face you, but you didn't face them. So as I can remember, I just added like this one and I did SVG and it was accepted. So anyway, let's try to find a way out of this. So filed and non-character based. Okay. Are there any characters accepted here? A to Z, all not accepted. Okay. So it doesn't allow any opening tag if there's a string after. So I'll just skip it and come back to it later once I remember. So this is a spell checking one. So if I wrote a word that isn't right, it will try to correct the word for me. So how you can use this? You can just write script wrong way. So just write script like that, then alert, then script. Okay. Just write this one wrong as well. What's going on here? Did you mean this one? Nope, I didn't mean this thing. Okay, just try this. Confirm. Okay, so just write image. So I can't write source, so image won't work. It was script actually. Yeah, I need to add spaces. So it's like script with any character that's not, it's there, and it will autocorrect it for you. Then you can write confirm, which is also wrong. Then you can write the other script that's also wrong. Now, yep, now it's working. So as you can see, this is a script, and now it's corrected for me. So it should alert. This is the one I just showed you in Google. So Google, if Google wasn't filtering your payload, you may use this technique. Base64 decoded input. So as you can see here, I have a p parameter, and this value is base64 encoded. So if I just decoded it, it's guessed. So I just need to encode my own payload. Script. I just encoded base64. You can find any website online that will encode it for you. Actually, this won't work because there's a plus sign, so I'll just add anything after. Encode. Okay, this should work. The problem in here is that plus sign is treated as what? Is treated as space. So if I added this payload, it will be treated as that, and this may not work. So I need to try to make it in a form that doesn't have any pluses inside. Encode. You know what? I'll just URL encode this, so it will be treated as a normal plus sign. Enter. Here we go. An alert. So let's try. I don't know if it will work or not, but I'll just try to test it with you. If I use this one, yep, it won't work. Why? If you read the source, there is a problem here because this plus sign is actually like a space, so it's the same as you added like this one. So what you need to do is you need to encode the plus sign, which is 2b, I guess. Yep, now it's working. Going back, guessing parameter. Okay. So now I need to guess some parameters here. Okay, so let's try test. Guess don't know what's this one, but it just tells me to guess some parameters. So in this case, you will make a script that will guess some parameters for you, and if any parameter had a reflection, then you should try to inject with it. But here, don't know how I should guess it. I don't really remember again. Anyway, just skip this one. But as you can see, the idea behind this one is that you should try to guess some parameters. So sometimes if you found a page like this one, it's test, you just try a parameter called test, and it may have a reflection here, even though it's not by default. So just skip this one. Now parameter name. So this one is a good one. So as you can see here, I have two injection points, the value, the parameter name, and the value. This is the parameter name, and this is the value of it. So I will hit here the challenge is about injecting the parameter name itself, because maybe this one isn't working. Yep, it's filtered, but the name isn't. So I can just change the name of the parameter, because the server handles whatever parameter I gave it to, and it displays it here, but it doesn't filter it, it only filters the value. So now I'll just use SVG on load. Actually, if I use equal like that, I'll just show you alert. It won't work. Why? Because this is already a value. So I think if I encoded it, it will work. 3D. 3D is the URL encoding for equal sign. If it didn't work, yep, it worked right now. So let's try. Actually, you don't need to memorize all the URL encodings for the characters, but sometimes you will just memorize them because you work with them a lot. Once you dive really into the field, you will know, for example, the most famous one is the /1 to F, the period is 2E, the plus sign is 2B, the backslash is 5C, and so on. So 3D also is a very famous one, it's the equal sign. So you don't just go Google them and memorize them. It will come by time, and you don't need to memorize all of them, just some important ones you will memorize by time. So now we have, okay, this is a very tricky one. Actually, I didn't manage to solve, and I asked the founder of these challenges to help me in, and he was a very kind guy. He helped me. So basically here, if I just try to alert, it will return whatever I add without problems. But the problem is that the code has an error and it won't work. I'll just show you. So it's like that. So try this one in the console. It will cause an error because it will tell you that the object named my object isn't found. So that's why it's not working. So how you can go around this, you can define a function called my object afterwards. So now I will add, this is my payload. I want to alert, then I want to define something. So once this is my payload, I want to close it like that. Now function my ob. Now just make it an empty function and comment the rest. Once I define this function, as you can see here, it tells you that my object isn't defined, but I can define it after my payload. So this way it should work. Let's try. Yep, done.
By the way, this type of XSS payload is one of the most, I'd say, advanced one. I'm not sure about like the real life, but I've seen such payloads in Google CTFs, the major Google CTF. There has been some prototype overwriting and some prototype definition in JavaScript. And basically in JavaScript, I think Anas once explained this one, is that the way that the browser works with JavaScript, it first takes a look on every function that it has, and then it executes it. So if, for example, at the top of your code, you have called a function for get number or whatever the function is, and this function does not exist at the time of your call. But you can define that function. You have a control over an input that is below or at the very bottom of the page. So in normal cases in C++ or in the languages that are going to deal with the code as if it's a sequential execution, you cannot do this thing because it would tell you that it doesn't the function doesn't exist. But with the JavaScript, it will work. Why? Because the way that JavaScript compiles is that it looks at the code at first. It just takes a look at it, and then it knows that I have this, and then on the second round it executes it. So even if you call the function at the very top of the code, but you have defined it at the very bottom of the code, you can still execute it because the compiler or the engine is going to look at it and see, oh, I know this exists, and then it will come back to the top and start to execute them sequentially.
Thank you, Abdullah. This is actually a JavaScript topic, and you should dive in more into the JavaScript programming language in order to achieve this knowledge and be able to exploit this modern XSS. Anyway, so I just remembered the payload here. So here, as you can see, if you added a character after the opening tag, it won't because it doesn't allow. So there's a trick here. We added return 0A is like enter. So 0A, it's the same as adding enter. So for example, if you I'll just show you here. Hack bar. So if you added A, enter B, now if I want to encode this one, URL encode, it's 0A. So 0A is like an enter. So I will just add enter before writing my payload, before writing my script, I'm sorry. So now I added enter script. Now I can add my payload, alert, script, and the closing doesn't have any problem, so I can just do it. Now it's working. So let's try. Yep, it's working. So this was the trick about bypassing the protection that detects if the character after the opening tag is any character from A to Z, capital or small. If this is the check, then you can add here like a new line. It's a new line is actually 0A, and return is 0D. This is return, which is \r, and this is \n, which is enter, is the same as 0A. Tab, for example, which is \t, is 09, I think. Yeah, 09. If I decoded this, yep, it's a tab. So let's continue. So HTML injection in parameter name. So now we have reference error. This is the one we just solved, the last one about the props entity. Now we have multi-context injection. So this is an advanced and real-life multi-text injection. So as you can see here, I have two injection points. This is the first one. I will try to escape here from the value, and here I will try to escape from also the value of the queue. So this one works, but this one doesn't. So let's try \. Still doesn't. So what I can do here in this case, I can go out of the input. Now I'm out of the input, out of the value of the input. Now I can open a new script tag, script. So now I am opening a new script, just check it. So here, why it's not here? Okay, so never mind. I can't open tags and close them. I can just do like this. Okay, I can't use that opening tag. Oh, sorry. I removed the parameter. Yeah. So let's try again. I don't know if I can open tags or not, but I will check. Nope, I can't open tags. So what I can do, I think I can do like this. Yep, so I can comment everything till here, and here I can handle what's coming after it. So here I will go out of the value and will comment you will see we'll comment everything, and here I will use the second injection point to close the commenting. So now I have closed the comment. Now I can inject here my own HTML, but without using double quotes, because double quotes isn't allowed. Or you know what, I can, but it will just add a backslash before it. So anyway, I'll just add a new SVG payload. SVG download equals to prompt. So as you can see, okay, I can't add slash, I'll just add a space here. Okay, this should be working right now. So as you can see here, I use the multi-reflection to bypass the payload. Here I wasn't able to open a new script, so I just commented everything till here, and here I can add HTML, but I can't go out of the queue value. So I just ignored everything and opened here as a new SVG, and my new HTML element will execute the alert for me. So done. So good so far. Here's the DOM-based ones. I think this is some advanced ones I don't want to go through right now. Look in here.
I think it's overall good.
So I'll just show you this one, because this is a real life example one I think you should know about. Okay, this one and this one. Those two are good ones to know. So this is the first one. Here, I think just adding a normal thing will work. Yeah, okay, you can just execute here a normal JavaScript, but the main goal of this challenge is to execute it without using a normal XSS and a normal HTML injection payload. The goal here is that some websites will filter the payload you add, but they are using, for example, Bootstrap. So here, as you can see, it's using Bootstrap 4. So you need to find a payload that will work for Bootstrap. So Bootstrap. So as you can see here, Bootstrap has its own event. It's called onAnimationStart event, and this won't be recognized by most of the web application firewalls. Web application firewalls is the firewalls that will block some requests because they have some illegal values, you can say, or they have values that may cause some problems to the application. But these are functions, or you can call them events, that are created by the Bootstrap framework in order to execute JavaScript, but they are not defined in the original HTML language. So some firewalls won't recognize them. So as you can see here, we have these payloads. Actually, those two won't work. So Twitter is always the best source you can find to Google, to search for bypasses and so forth. So I'll just search for Bootstrap XSS payload. So here you can see this isn't actually good. XSS, just XSS, no payload. Okay, you can see this is a very famous Russian guy, researcher actually. He had this collection of payloads. So here, this works for this version of Bootstrap. Now this version of Bootstrap, this works with it. Let's check back the version we need. So it's 4.1, 4.11. So now we need something to work for 4.1. 4.1, okay. This one, this is beta. Let's try this one, for example. So this one, I think it's in the range. So if we use this payload, nope, it's not in the range. Let's try this one. Yep, now we have an alert. So as you can see, data target actually isn't a normal HTML. The data actually, I'll just show you something, or just the page source. Data dash something is a special JavaScript, you can say, keyword to define your own attributes. So here you can say data spy, scroll, data target here. So here, after you add the data and the dash, here you add keywords that will execute, and you can define them with your own JavaScript. So the Bootstrap library treats this data target and data spy in a certain way that you can use to execute your own JavaScript. So as you can see, if we use the same payload on a page that doesn't allow that or doesn't use Bootstrap, it won't work. I'll just show you the first example here. I think there is no Bootstrap here. I'll just check. There's only jQuery. So I will try here the payload. It won't work. Why? Because this is only a Bootstrap-based payload. So also this is Angular challenge. Angular is something different than Bootstrap. So in order to execute JavaScript with Angular, there is some special payloads for. I'll just show you Angular here, AngularJS. This is the most famous one. This is the one that's currently working in most websites because most websites just uses this version. So I'll just copy this payload. So as you can see, this looks nothing like a normal JavaScript injection. But if I just go enter it, it will execute. If you can see here the classes ng-app, this is an attribute that will treat whatever inside here as in certain way, and this is the sandbox escape from. This is a vulnerability actually in Angular that will allow you to execute your own JavaScript code. So if I added here 7 times 7, 7 times 7, it will be 49, as you can see, because this is Angular app. It's executing whatever is inside these double curly brackets, and this function is a bypass of the sandbox escape because you can't just write like this. You can't just write alert here. You can't just write like that because that's not the way Angular works. Angular only allows for certain APIs and calls. So this is the bypass of the sandbox of the AngularJS in order to execute your own JavaScript, and you can write your own JavaScript here inside the constructor of the constructor. You can write your own JavaScript here. So these two examples are very good, especially the Bootstrap one. Sorry, the Angular one. This is very common one because if you can see here, I can't add any HTML mostly. Let's just check. Yep, XSS not allowed. So this is a filter that doesn't allow any HTML tags. But the problem here is that it's treating my input in an ng-app attribute, and I can use this to bypass the protection because most websites won't actually filter these double curly brackets. They will just filter the normal tags because these in general context won't have any problem. But once you add them inside an ng-app, ng is Angular, in ng-app, now it's becoming dangerous. So as you can see here, the source doesn't seem to be any dangerous, doesn't seem to do anything strange, but the real page, it will be 49 because it's executing what's inside here. And this is the cheat sheet for these versions. So as you can see here, these are the bypasses for all versions. If you can check the version of the Angular you are using or the website is using, you can use these payloads in order to execute JavaScript. So I think that's good for now. So do we have any questions so far? Anyone has any confusion? Anything someone needs to understand more in this topic? Any questions, suggestions, anything? So at least just tell me, guys, did you enjoy this session? Did you learn something new? All good for me, just need a lot of practice. Yeah, for sure. I mean, JavaScript, I almost spent 5 years of my life practicing JavaScript in order to be able to execute it in real life. So it won't come by day and night, but you can do it faster than me because I took a long time and I was lazy to learn. So if you just spend sufficient time practicing, you'll be able to execute very good ones in some good websites, and you'll be proud of yourself. So did you understand something new in this session? Is there anything that you didn't understand that you need me to go in further, even if not now, in the future? Anything about XSS or HTML injection, script injection, whatever you want to call it, or whatever the context you're facing? So I think we are good. No questions so far. So if it's like that, so I would just like to thank you all for attending this session, and hope you all good time. And thanks for attending again. See you.
Anas, Khalid is asking about React.
Where?
Khalid is asking about React. Down. That's the question.
Oh, sorry, I didn't scroll down. Okay, how about React? Does have any vulnerabilities too? Actually, I don't know if there. React actually is React. Let's double check React. Nope, I don't think we can actually use React. Why? Because React is a backend language. It's a backend framework, while Angular can work in the backend and in the front end. So React works in the backend, so you can't even add anything inside of it. You can't execute JavaScript in the backend, while Angular works on the front end. So as you can see here, the example I just showed, as you can see here, it executes the front end, while only React only works with the backend. But some other libraries like Vue, like that, I don't know how to pronounce it right. This library, Vue.js, this library, it's a very common one also. Yep. Here we have some payloads for Vue reflections. Where is it? These are payloads for Vue.js. This is a very common library also. We have Vue.js, we have Angular, but Angular is the most famous one actually. Angular. So they're mostly Angular. And actually, these are payloads that will work with Vue.js, and they're also, so as we saw in this session, we can write events like onload. Actually, on Vue.js, you can say at load. So as you can see here at load. So some filters will block you from adding onload keywords. So if it's using Vue.js, you can change onload to at load, at error, as you can see here, at error, whatever. So this is a good way of bypassing the web application firewall if the application is using Vue.js. And also you can use this one, which is the same as the one working with Angular if it's working with Vue.js. That's why AngularJS is hated. I don't know, because each is working for its own purpose. Angular is better for me than React. I enjoy more learning about Angular than React, maybe because it serves both the backend and the front end, while React is mostly focusing on the backend side. So it depends on the application you're working with. Sometimes one will be better than the other. So don't think that's the main reason it's hated, because also React has its own type of security vulnerabilities, but it's not in the XSS side. So any other questions? You're welcome, Khalid. So if that's about it now, I would like to thank you again. I think this is the fourth time or something. So